Hi, this video is for my Algebra 1 students. We're going to be on page 381, lesson 9.3, doing examples 4 and 5, and if we have enough time, we'll do example 6 also. Still working on multiplying polynomials. What I taught you yesterday about the FOIL method doesn't work on this particular lesson or in this particular section because the FOIL method only works when you have a quantity of two numbers times a quantity of two other numbers. So enough about that for now. But here we have x minus 2 times 3x squared plus 4x plus 9. Again, we're going to use the distributive property. This first line that I write out, you do not have to show this in your work, but I show it because I'm teaching you. So, distributive property says this x will get multiplied by every term in this second quantity. So, it's going to be x times 3x squared. Then it's going to be x times 4x. And then lastly, x times 9. Now I'm going to pause there for a second. I'm just going to multiply those out. That's 3x cubed plus 4x squared plus 9x. You might be able to just do that as you're multiplying this out and skip this line here. X times 3x squared is 3x cubed. X times 4x is 4x squared. X times 9 is 9x. But I am going to continue to do this line out here, and then we'll simplify it in the next one. Now, anytime in these where you have a negative number, be very, very careful. My 9th grade algebra teacher taught us to go make that a plus and make that negative 2. Because when you go to do the distributive property, it's very easy to leave that negative behind, and that negative is very significant, very important. You've got to remember that this is negative 2 times 3x squared, and you've got to remember that negative every time you do it. People will go negative 2 times 3x squared, but then they'll just simply do 2 times 4x squared. They'll remember the negative in the first one, but skip it in all the others. Excuse me. Let me erase this and get it closer so I don't run out of room. So negative 2 times 3x squared plus negative 2 times 4x plus negative 2 times 9. And again, you could have just said, oh, negative 2 times 3x squared is negative 6x squared. Negative 2 times 4x is negative 8x. Here. Negative 2 times 9 is negative 18. So there you have your work. Now, if you notice, we had 2 terms times 3 terms. 2 times 3 is 6. Our answer is going to come up with 6 terms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It did. But when you're multiplying polynomials, a lot of times your numbers your final answer here, numbers will combine. You have what you can combine like terms. So here I have a 3x cubed. Are there any other x cubed terms in here? There are not. The 3x cubed is flying solo. But here's 4x squared. Are there any other x squared terms in here? There are. Here's positive 4x squared and negative 6x squared. 4 minus 6 gives me negative 2, and I have to have the x squared with it. Here's a positive 9x. Are there any other just simply x terms? There are. Minus 8x. 9x's minus 8x's gives me just 1x. And then the negative 18, he stands alone. He's flying solo just like the 3x cubed was. Here is your final answer. It cannot be simplified further. All right? So we've got a couple more examples. Let's just go through this. I'm not going to write up the line like this in this second example. I'm just going to multiply it out. Here is 2a times 7a. 2 times 7 is 14. A times a squared. And I know I'm going to run out of space there, so I'm just going to erase this from the first example. 14a squared. 2a times 4b. That'll give me 8ab. 2a times negative 5c. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to change that to plus negative 5c. Very much encourage you to do that. 2a times negative 5 gives me negative 10ac. Now I'm going to multiply this b times all those terms. I didn't do it over here when I did the negative 2, but I could have drawn arrows like this. I did not. Let's do it this time though. B times 7a gives me 7ab. B times 4b gives me plus 4b squared. And b times negative 5c gives me negative 5bc. By the way, if you'd written it as negative 5cb, no, it's the exact same thing. Order does not matter in those letters. Okay? So here we have 14a squared. Are there any other a squared terms? Here's an ab, here's an ac, another ab. There are no other a squared terms. 14a squared is alone. Here we have 8ab. Are there any other ab terms? Here's an ac, doesn't work. Ah, here's a 7ab. Are there any other ab's? Nope. 8ab plus 7ab gives me 15 ab's. Here's a negative 10 ac. Are there any other ACs? There are not. AC. Here's b squared. There's no other b squared terms, and there are no other bc terms. We see the only terms that combined were the 8ab and the 7ab. That's perfectly acceptable. Excuse me, and quite common. We're at 7.5 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and do the third example, and I'm not going to do it the way the book shows. I'll be just quite honest. I do not like the form. They write it up like a long multiplication problem, and that's not wrong. I just do not like doing it that way. Mr. Harrison just got a text. Plus x squared plus 4, and over here 5x minus 2. Now it does not matter which of these quantities comes first. I could have this 5x minus 2 over here and do that out. Doesn't matter. But here they've got the larger quantity going first. Notice there are 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. 1, 2 terms. 4 times 2. In the next line, we should get 8 terms, and then maybe some of them will combine. So, distributive property. I'm going to multiply 2x cubed times the 5x. 2x cubed times the negative 2. And you know what? I'm going to change that to plus negative 2 right now. So 2x cubed times 5x. 2 times 5 is 10. X cubed times x to the 1 gives me x to the 4. 2x cubed times negative 2 gives me negative 4x cubed. This minus 3x, I'm changing it to plus negative 3x. That is one of the greatest downfalls of students when they do this. They'll go negative 3x times 5, but then they'll just do 3x times the negative 2. They'll forget that negative. So, negative 3x times 5x. Negative 3 times 5 gives me negative 15. x1 times x1, x squared. Negative 3x times negative 2. That'll give me positive 6x. We move on to the x squared. X squared times 5x gives me 5x cubed. X squared times negative 2. Negative 2x squared. We're done with those. 4 times 5x, 20x. And 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. They did something odd. They should have gone x cubed, x squared, then x and 4. Doesn't matter. It's odd that they do that. X to the 4th power. Are there any other x to the 4s? No. 10x4. Now our x cubed terms. Negative 4x cubed. Are there any other x cubed terms? Yes, here's a positive 5x cubed. 5 minus 4 is 1 x cubed. Our x squared terms. Here's negative 15x squared minus 2x squared gives me negative 17x squared. We'll use a wavy line. 6x are just x to the 1 terms, and 20x. 6x plus 20x, 26x, and the negative 8 is flying all along. Notice up here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 terms, just as I said we did, but when we combine them all together, we're down to just 5. That's okay. All right, more on this later. Hope that helps. Let me know if you have troubles with your homework.